up on our property in Tongue Canyon outside of Dayton and Sheridan, Wyoming. And this is a follow-up the last video where we had the masticating head going down those burnt trees and kind of thinning a bunch of burnt trees. It's September, late September, had a lot of moisture. The soil's kind of damp. It was a good time to work the soil. We've got a lot of mulch from the trees getting masticated. And so we want to get a seed down to kind of prevent some of the invasive plants that are in the area, like Ventonata medusa head, from getting established before we can get what kind of seed we want. Sheridan Feed and Seed supplied us the seed. I talked with their agronomist to find out just what best seed would be for this kind of dry, it's slope, it runs off, and so we need some plants that are resilient to the drought conditions. This seed is thick spike wheatgrass, blue bunch wheatgrass, slender wheatgrass, and Indian rice grass, and we're going to mix some dryland alfalfa with it. I've tried some other seed mixes on the hill to see which one does the best to complement some of the native species that we'll show you later on today. But first, I want to show you something that I just learned. If you look at a seed bag, there's a single stitch on one side and a double stitch on the other. If you face the single towards you and you cut right up against it, right there on the right hand side, and then pluck out your first one, and look at that, just like a zipper. I want to try some dryland alfalfa because we're right up against Amston Elk Refuge, and the elk tend to stay on the other side, and I'd love to see some elk coming over on this side. And I think now that we had the fire and now we have more park and maybe a little more grass and trees, we might start getting more game. We get quite a few whitetail and mule deer. Turkey were out here this morning. So now we got a nice mix. It's got alfalfa mixed up in that native seed bank. And we're gonna just do a little broadcast seeding. All right, so this was really heavy, small trees. And again, this is where the fire blew up, was right in here, and we thinned it all out. So there's a lot of mulch. You can see all the, just when he masticated that timber, man, it just grinds it up into great mulch, good seed bed. But seed needs compacted for it to germinate. So I'm gonna just broadcast seed, and then I'll go over it with the cat, use the cat tracks, maybe backblade a little bit with the cat. Even though it's steep, the bulldozer can do a pretty good job. You can see that there's already a lot of fresh seedlings coming up of the native grasses, but again, we have Ventonata medusa head just over the hill, so I want to give it a little extra oomph so we don't have those invasive plants coming in. So just going to broadcast. It's hard to get that, just broadcasting. So I've probably went through 2 or 3 times the seed I should. All right, so this was an undisturbed area. This was post-fire, so all these perennial grasses came right back like they would after a fire. Really healthy plant community. It has some of the native brushes. You got some slender wheatgrass and some ryegrass. You get down into it though, it's got a lot of buffalo grass. It has a really high protein content, and it has really good sod. It's amazing how well it came back with its perennial grasses. And then you can see some of the annual grasses, and you always know an annual grass because you can just pull it right out by the roots. And they call it an annual grass because it doesn't have a root system that it repopulates with. It has to populate with the seed heads, and you can see it has a lot of seeds, and that's what we're trying to get ahead of, because we don't want, this is brome grass here, that's otherwise known as cheatgrass. But we do have some Ventonata medusa head in the area. I've found some here on our property. We were going to spray it with the Sheridan Weed and Pest, but after talking to them, we have so much disturbed soil, we don't want to do that, because the chemical they use to treat that makes the soil basically sterile for germination of seed. So if we're trying to plant new seed, then that soil wouldn't be able to germinate the seed for a couple years, which would be counterproductive. So we're going to wait a couple years and spray the annuals that are in here, get the perennials going really good, both in the reclaimed place and the native places that have been undisturbed, and then we'll go back and treat the annual grass.